that movie. Well, the Obama administration is standing by those comments, but our next guest says not true. Joining us right now from Florida, Congressman Colonel Allen West. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, Steve. How are you doing?
Fine, thanks very much. We've got our intel sources tell us that there was no demonstration before the attack on the consulate that wound up murdering our ambassador, and yet the administration stands by the story that, yeah, it's spontaneous after people were PO'd about that movie.
Well, first of all, Egyptian intelligence put out a letter about a week prior to September 11th saying beware of demonstrations and potential of attacks. Then, of course, that letter was printed in the Jerusalem Post the day of the attacks. I can tell you, having been in combat zones post 9/11, that is always a day of heightened security and alertness, and that's what we should have had. And there have been about 4 to 5 previous attacks on the embassy consulates there in Libya, which led to us knowing exactly what the president, interim president of Libya has said, is that this was Al-Qaeda-based terrorist organization, which is what you have there in Benghazi.
Sure, and then you've got the interim Libyan president going on TV saying it was pre-planned. These people were out of town. I think it's Al-Qaeda. And then people from the administration came out and said, I believe it was yesterday, said, yeah, he's wrong because he doesn't have the same sources of intelligence that we do. I don't get
I would
that.
trust the
He's
man.
there.
I would trust the man on the ground.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You have to trust the guy on the ground. Steve, this is very important for the Obama administration because first and foremost, they misread the tea leaves. They misread this whole Arab Spring. They did not understand you have to fill a void of leadership in those countries. The exact same thing when the Shah of Iran was deposed and you got the Ayatollahs and radical Islamism, Hezbollah and Hamas. So they cannot all of a sudden have their failed policies, foreign policies, really be seen as the reason why this has occurred.
Congressman, I want to ask you about something that Mitt Romney was caught on tape saying down there in Boca a couple of months ago, and that is essentially that 47% of the country not going to vote for him because they're on the dole. What'd you think of that comment? Because the Obama side is blowing it up like, look, he doesn't care about half the country.
Well, I think that everyone should take the time to read the book Democracy in America by Alexis de Tocqueville that was written in the 1830s, and I just happened to bring that quote in. A democracy cannot exist as a permanent form of government. It can only exist until the voters discover that they can vote themselves largesse from the public treasury. From that moment on, the majority always votes for the candidates promising the most benefits from the public treasury, with the result that a democracy always collapses over loose fiscal policy, always followed by a dictatorship, end quote. So I think that when you look at us moving toward economic dependence instead of economic freedom, the fact that we have had about a 46% increase of food stamp recipients in the Obama administration, almost 9.4 million more Americans in poverty over the last 3.5 years thanks to the Obama administration, the unemployment that is probably actually closer to 14.7% with the U6 computation. Mitt Romney probably could have better explained himself. I think he was a little clumsy in doing it. But this quote from Alexis de Tocqueville tells it all.
One good thing for the president is the Mitt Romney statement, and everybody's going to be talking about it today, takes what happened in Libya off the front page for a day or two.
Well, only for those who have a short-term memory span. I think most of us are still focused on what is happening overseas, the fact that our embassies are being attacked and people are chanting death to America.
Indeed. All right, Congressman Allen West joining us from the beautiful, sunshiny state of Florida. Thank you, sir.
Thanks. Thank you, Steve. Have a great day.
You as well, sir. All right, straight ahead, 20 minutes after the time.